What's up, friends? Are you saying to yourself, I would really like to have a center console that doesn't break the bank, Professor?
This is it.
Because today we're going to talk about a boat, which is the Maycraft Cape Classic 23-footer. We're here in Reedville, Virginia, the great folks of Jets Marine, who have been here for how many years, Bubba?
Since 1929.
Good grief, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Well, that's a long time, and Bubba's been with them for almost half that time, I think.
Be 40 years in April.
Yeah, so we got Bubba Wilkins with Jets Marine here in Reedville, Virginia. We're gonna talk all about this boat. We're gonna discuss who it's for, who it's not for, some of the features to it, all the things that you would want to know if you were a buyer. We're going to be honest and transparent as we always are. And of course, we're going to discuss at the end exactly how much is this boat here going to cost you. And so let's see if this is the center console for you. All right, so let's start off. Tell us about Maycraft as a brand for the folks that don't know it. If somebody said to you, just, you know, what's Maycraft? What do they specialize in? What's their target market? Break it down for us, Bubba.
Maycraft is a no-frills fiberglass fishing unit.
Okay.
Not a lot of bells and whistles, just the amenities you need. A live well, a place to stand,
Yep.
place to fish, place to drive from, and occasionally lean against.
You know, I think this is actually really important, folks, as you hear this, because they know what they are, and they're not trying to be something they're not.
Right.
And I think actually this is one of the biggest issues in the boating industry, the marine industry right now, certainly the fishing industry, is all these manufacturers, they want to be six figures and above in terms of price. And so what happens is more bells and whistles, more features. But as you know, that prevents a lot of people from entering the market because it's just too complex, therefore too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So to say, hey, I want to produce a unit that is going to be without all the bells and whistles, without all the frills and thrills, but is going to be something that is a good entry point boat for a lot of folks, that is a really strong fishing vessel, that gets me pretty excited.
Yeah, and you got to look at the heritage of the company too as well. They've been in the boat business for a long time. They started off a mom and pop organization. Yeah. Sons worked in the factory. It's a small boat company that recently just got purchased. The new owner has been in the industry for a long time. You're going to see a lot of good things coming from the Maycraft line. Not saying it wasn't good before.
Yeah. So if you had to describe the hull of this Maycraft 23 that we're looking at, Bubba, mm-hmm. you would consider this as what? What makes this hull unique or special?
On the outside, you're looking at the beam. This is still a modified V hull.
Yep.
What I mean by modified V, it's not a 22-degree dead rise hull. It's right around 14 degrees. So keep in mind, the more dead rise you have, the more depth it requires to take and float the boat. Right. Another thing, the more horsepower it requires on the drag. So this boat has a waterline beam, which is equivalent to the actual overall beam on the side. So what that does, it gives you stability.
Yep.
In shallow water, with people, with a lot of weight, and you're also able to jump up on plane really fast.
So in your mind, in terms of who this boat is for, and I know I might have said it a little bit already, but somebody says to you,
fishermen.
Fishermen.
Hardcore.
Hardcore fishermen.
Either they might want to troll.
Yep.
They might want to shallow fish.
Yep.
This type of boat, you'll see a trolling motor put on, not any shallow water anchors type like the Talon.
Yep.
So this guy is going to be the guy that takes and drifts around.
Okay, great. So mainly river bay style boat here, obviously not going offshore.
No.
And all about the fishing, not all about the living the sandbar life.
Right, exactly. It does have console storage. You can utilize it as a porta potty area, or you can take and use it as tackle storage.
Yeah.
in there.
All right, so let's get in here, and Professor, we're gonna get your take on how you would fish this boat, right? Because you're the one that really gets it. And if you haven't seen some of our other review videos with Professor in it, it's really great when he's here with us because he's just got a perspective that I can't add because he's a different level of fisherman. All right, so let's check out the inside of the Maycraft 23. All right, folks, so we're gonna start in the stern area, and just so you know, we just brought this boat from the outside. A lot of people have been walking on it and stuff like that, so is it a little bit dirty? Yes, of course it's dirty because it's getting used, folks. So please don't leave a comment and say, you know, that boat was dirty. I know it's dirty, y'all. Let's focus on, though, by the way, boats should be dirty.
They're getting used, they should be dirty.
Let's get them dirty. Let's get them bloody, y'all.
Right.
All right.
That's what they got hoses for.
That's why
right.
they got hose.
At the dock.
At the docks are all right. So let's get into it. What are we seeing in the back here, Bubba? You know, from the stern area in terms of general design and features.
Well, you got your compartment here on the starboard side that utilizes your battery, fuel filter, electrical that goes for the boat. Boat has two types of electrical on it. You have the wiring for the motor. You have the wiring for the boat. They don't put the two together.
Okay.
On this side here, on the port side, we have the live well. Open them up. You got a good sized live well there. Plus, it gives you that area that's kind of flat where you can stand or you can sit.
Yep.
Yeah. Pretty open in the back area. Again, we're not trying to, you know, immediately, Professor, in my mind, what I see is they, to what we've discussed, they keep it really raw, which for some people that's extremely appealing in terms of what they want.
Right. Yep. And a boat like this, you have to keep in mind, if you have a boat with a lot of soft goods on it, cushions and stuff like that, it's a lot of upkeep, a lot of work. At the end of the day in this boat, when you're fishing, you don't even really have to scrub it. You just come along and spray it out, and it's good to go, you know, the next time.
Yeah, there's some serious value to that.
Yeah, and it's a very low maintenance boat. You know, there's not a lot of things you need to take care of, which is very valuable when you're buying a boat.
Yeah. So, Bubba, in terms of the engine itself, we're going to put what on this Maycraft 23?
Minimum horsepower is 150, but most people, the price difference between a 150 and 200, they go with the 200. It is a little bit higher horsepower engine, so that it's going to develop torque. So that gets you up out and gets you running if you need to do it. It's still a 4-cylinder engine, so the economy's there.
Yeah. So if you have a 200 horse, you're probably looking at a top speed of what? I'm gonna guess 39, 40 miles an hour.
This boat will run right about 48.
48. Look how wrong I am,
That's
Professor.
getting it. That's getting it.
Yeah, that's getting it along. And in terms of fuel consumption, what are we looking at? 2.5?
You're going to be about 3.5 to 4 on this.
3.5.
Keep in mind, 4-cylinder engine. You're only pushing 4 cylinders.
Yeah.
Not a V6 like the 200s used to be.
Yeah. Okay. I understand.
And the weight. You're looking at a 4-cylinder engine being about 110 to 115 pounds lighter than a V6.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Now, Professor, you mentioned something that I really hadn't thought about before, which is the way these floors are built. And you have a question for Bubba about that.
Yeah, I asked him what type of core material this boat was constructed with. And
that's a conversation that I've read online in the industry about core materials and pros and cons.
Right. Well, a lot of problems with these boats, these style of boats, is the floor underneath of the fiberglass most of the time is a plywood material. And that rotting out and there being a soft spot in the floor. Which Bubba was telling me about here, this one comes with a lifetime warranty on the floor.
Right, so woods have evolved just like boats have. That's right. So what happened in the older days, they would just take and put a piece of what they call marine grade plywood in there and they wouldn't encapsulate it. So the moisture in the bilge would wick up to the top and the next thing you know, whatever cuts and stuff that you have, putting in hatches, hi-fis, that would wick the water in and would build the moisture into the wood, and then the wood would decay like most wood that's in water would. Right. So what they've done now is they've come out with, there's a company out here that builds pressure treated marine grade lumber, and they call it lifetime wood. So that's why a lot of these boat companies you see now that still build with plywood, we could say, they offer a lifetime warranty on the floor. Pontoon boats, actually, that's what they do now, is they still use marine grade plywood in their floor, and they offer a lifetime warranty to the floor.
Right.
This company here still builds with wood, but you do have the advantage of spending more money and buying a core.
An upgrade per se.
An upgrade.
Right.
There's a couple companies out there, Cruiser Divinicil is the ones that everybody knows of. And what that is a fiberboard that will not retain water. It repels water, and you don't have to encapsulate it. So what a lot of people have done is they vacuum pack floors is one of them, where they build a floor on a table, they inject the resin in it and vacuum pack it.
Right.
And there, so that it's a harder floor, and they can guarantee it.
Right.
Wood's not bad in a boat. It gives you strength, and it gives you
flexibility. This is a very important factor in a boat.
Boats flex.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, and that's what
a good. Okay, cool. Good to know. All right, so now that we've talked about the stern area, let's move to the center console and see what we're looking at.
Okay.
All right, folks. So as we're looking at this Maycraft Cape Classic 23, we're going to show you some of the scenes that we're showing you are from two models they have here in the showroom. One is outside, one's here inside. And so if you feel like you're seeing two boats, that's the reason why. So let's look at this center console now. This comes in different styles that we can do, but what does this particular model have, and what are your options?
Well, this here, it's just a plain pallet. So it's whatever you want, you can do to this. Flush mount electronics.
Yep.
You can gimbal mount them. You have your storage here. Throw your wallet,
yep,
cell phone, what have you. Typical switching, couple accessories in there, bilge pump, live well, spreader lights if you want to add it. Now, spreader light is a light that illuminates the deck.
Can you get this in a hard top, or is this the standard? How does it work?
This is their only upgrade, is this T-top, or you can obviously get a custom top built by manufacturers that do that.
Okay, got it.
We got a local guy here, Randy Mowbray.
Yeah.
Does a really good job.
Does an amazing job.
Yep.
So when you look at this, Professor, and you look at this center console area, obviously, keep in mind as we're talking about this, we're recognizing that this, pricing-wise, is going to be a much lower price than a lot of boats.
Yeah.
And so naturally, it's not going to have a lot of the bells and whistles that we see in others. But your impression of the center console area?
Well, it's nice. There's not a backrest to the leaning post, and which is fine because, like I say, it's not a comfort boat. Mm-hmm. I don't like that the windshield could come up about another 4 inches, because you're elevated when you're driving this boat. It's not like you can sit down and get out of the wind. So there's going to be a certain amount of wind that's still going to hit you in the face. And when it's cool out, it makes your eyes water, things like that.
Yeah.
But overall, it's just a standard platform that you can work with.
Yeah.
Not a hope. You got 2 gauges, fuel, which is the most important.
Yeah.
And then tack. Your tack on here has lights on, lets you know when service needs to be done.
Yeah.
No tilt wheel, hydraulic steering.
Hydraulic steering, but no tilt. All right, good. So let's look inside of the center console and see what we have inside of it.
All right, so here we have the console door, and as you can see, it's not a lot in here. It does have a tub in here, so if you do want to put a porta potty for the wife or kids, they need to go, you have a recessed area for that in here.
So a porta potty is possible in the center console area?
Yes, it is. It is. Not a lot of headroom,
right,
but if you get in that position and you need to go, you have the capability of doing it. But this type of boat, that's where you're going to put your fishing tackle when you're done. Safety equipment is important. You need the safety equipment on there. It just gives you an area to store that.
Yeah. And of course, it's got that bottom drain in there as well.
Goes into the bilge. You got a bilge pump that takes that out when you decide to wash that in there. And then keep in mind, you got the seal around it, so any rainwater or whatever is going to be out of there anyway.
Right. All right. So let's finish it up by looking at the bow area of the boat, Bubba. So what are just some of the general ways they've designed this? It feels very, very open up here.
It is. Right? It is. So this boat comes in 2 floor plans. This floor plan is for fishing, The next one has V-berth seats up here for lounging, and that one's more pleasure.
So we've got that one outside.
Yes, that's the one that's outside.
All right.
As far as from the console back, they're the same boats. The hull is the same. The difference is this front deck. You'll notice on the one out there, you have to step around it. Where this one here, you can walk around in here. Either you got plenty of room here, plenty of room there. Nothing to stump your toe on.
Got a pretty decent platform still in this front area, almost like 2 platforms, Professor, just in terms of, it's not super small, so you've got enough that you could stand on. From a fishing perspective, your thoughts?
You could get up there and cast. There's plenty of room for it. It's just, it's going to be more for like casting at a school of bluefish or something like that. Something out in the deeper water. Really not where you're trying to finesse a bait in the shallows, you know what I mean?
Right.
But this boat here is overall great setup, in my opinion, for somebody that's in the entry level. Because all this room up here, you could easily throw a cooler. Just imagine a cooler here and a big, what are those things you pull behind the boat? Inner tube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you could have the wife and kids on here, the kids up here sitting in the inner tube, and you know, the wife sitting there, and it could very easily be a Saturday fishing boat with 6 of your buddies. And it also could be a family boat on Sunday to go to the beach.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's affordable.
It's affordable.
Which is a big deal.
Yep.
So as we close this video up, Bubba, let's talk about that just for a second. In terms of cost and price for this particular boat, most people are going to spend this roughly, boat, and just give us a range. I'm not going to hold you to it.
Depends on what you want to add, but the boat, motor, and trailer package with a T-top like this is right around the low 70s.
Low 70s.
Yeah,
all right,
70 to 71. Keep in mind, this boat it's a well-known brand, but you know, the guy that buys this boat, he might not know what he wants to do quite yet. So it's a good interim boat in a price point that he can take and resell it.
Yeah, it's not another mortgage, which a lot of boats these days are another mortgage.
Exactly.
And this isn't another mortgage. To be able to get a boat that's in that 23-foot class, that you could run this all over the Chesapeake Bay or certainly different areas. Not an offshore boat, but certainly inshore. You could do a lot with this. You got a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, this is the most all-around platform, in my opinion, for someone that wants to get into boating, that's not sure what they want to do. It's just the best all-around open option.
There you have it, folks. And so if you have been thinking, I want to get in the game, I don't want to break the bank, I want to be able to fish, do a little bit with family, well then maybe this Maycraft Cape Classic 23 is a good fit for you. We hope that you've enjoyed the video, that this has helped. We want to thank, of course, Bubba and Jets Marine. They're awesome. So make sure you come see them in Reedville, Virginia. They're always helping us out here on the channel. Please make sure you like it, subscribe to it. We've got a lot more review videos coming out that you're going to be finding. Hopefully you're going to see that they're the most transparent, the most honest that are online today. And until the next time, everyone, stay salty.